For the purposes of this video, I will be assuming that 100 years has passed since the events of Future Connected. If you want to know why I think this amount of time has passed, then please wait until the end of the video. But for now, let's start this video with who is likely deceased. So I think it's safe to say that practically all of the humans and homs from the previous games aren't still going to be alive and kicking in this one. And that would of course include many characters like Rhine, Sharla, Dunban and Morag, as they all likely would have fell victim to time and died from old age. Nopon would also be largely the same, as they too appear to have very similar lifespans to humans and homs. So that does likely mean that Riki, Tora, Kino and Nene have also likely left the mortal realm behind them. Although there is a chance that they could still be alive, as there is evidence to suggest that Nopons can live for much longer, thanks to the Nopon Sage, who is at the ridiculous age of 9,999 years old. So if any of the Nopon party members learnt his secrets, then they too may still be around for Xenoblade 3. I do, however, want to give Fiora a special mention. Fiora was of course converted into a mech-on-face pilot, and we know thanks to Future Connected and the end scene in Xenoblade 1 that she does manage to get her body back. However, there's still a slim chance that she may be part Machina, and they live for a very long time, but we're going to talk about them later. Chances are Fiora's met the same demise as everyone else, but I thought that she deserved a special mention. Two characters I think have slightly better odds, however, are Shulk and Rex, due to their close connection with Alvis and Numa. Rex is easy to explain, so we'll start there. Considering that Numa's ability is literally to rewrite the rules around her, it would realistically be very easy for her to keep Rex alive for a long time by preventing him from dying or aging. And considering the feelings that the two have for each other, it would make sense that Numa would want Rex to live a long life so that he can stay by her side. And Shulk is kind of the same. All the way through Xenoblade Chronicles 1, Shulk had a very strong connection to Alvis, who is not confirmed but is very likely part of the Trinity processor. And of course, Shulk and Alvis aren't in the same kind of relationship as Rex and Numa, although I'm sure some fans wouldn't be opposed to that, but Alvis may want to keep Shulk around, as he is after all the creator of this world. And therefore, these two characters being alive is completely reliant on if Alvis and Numa keep them alive. And if it hasn't been obvious already, Alvis and Numa will still be alive in Xenoblade 3. I'd also guess that Shulk and Rex would not want to live for such a long time, as this would mean leaving many family and friends behind. And so I think it's a very slim chance indeed that these two characters will return for Xenoblade 3. Two characters that I do think have very good chances of still being around though are Zeke and Poppy. Zeke is a blade eater, the same as Mikhail, and he managed to live over 500 years and only seemed to age a fraction of that. So chances are that Zeke will still be wandering around somewhere. What's strange, however, is that Zeke was still a prince of Tantal, and so it would have made more sense for him to become the ruler of Agnes as opposed to Nia, considering Melia seems to be the ruler of the Kivis nation, and she is also royalty. So it would have made more sense for Zeke to inherit the throne like Melia did, but that of course appears not to be the case. It's also possible that Zeke has died, however not from old age. We should also know how bad Zeke's luck was, and chances are he could have ran headfirst into a nest of extremely dangerous monsters. Poppy is also likely alive, although as we mentioned earlier, her master pawn likely isn't. I can personally imagine walking into some sort of cafe or bar and Poppy will be the one waiting tables. But this is of course only as long as somebody maintains Poppy's parts, else the general wear and tear of the world could leave her broken and destroyed, which will be a very sad sight for us all. And finally, we have those who are virtually guaranteed to still be alive, and those are going to be the Machina and the Titans. Both of these races races have incredibly long lifespans, with many of them living into the thousands. Take for instance Mikol, the main machina that we see in Xenoblade 1. He was 6,000 years old and witnessed the initial conflict between the Bionis and the Mechonis, so it's pretty safe to assume that he and the other machina are likely still alive. But not only him, we may even see a Zerda again. The only Titan we saw in Xenoblade 2 with intelligence was a Zerda, but he was treated so nonchalantly by all the other party members that I imagine it's standard for some Titans to have intelligence, so we may see more intelligent Titans in the future. The nation of Agnes may even opt to revive the lost technology of Judicium and start turning Titans once again into weapons to fight the Kivas nation. On the other hand, however, I don't think the giant Titans like Gormott, Morardain and Tantal will still be alive and kicking, as after all, they seem to have fused with the earth and became the very ground beneath our feet once again. I also want to give a quick special mention to the Hyentia and the Blades. If it wasn't obvious from the trailer, then they are returning. However, I do also think that we may even see the return of the pure breed Hyentia after the transformation to Telethia. I'm going to go more in depth on this though in a future video, so you'll have to wait till then to hear more. Blades are of course also returning for Xenoblade 3, but there may be some differences this time around. We spotted no drivers in the Xenoblade 3 trailer, and even though Blades don't require a driver to fight, they are still an important part of them, and this could suggest that most Blades are now flesh eaters. It also opens up the possibility for us to see lots of returning Blades, such as Brigid but potentially bonded to a new driver. But we'll have to wait for a future trailer or for Xenoblade 3 to get more information on which Blades are going to still be around. And with that, let's get back to why I think only 100 years will have passed after the events of Future Connected. At present, there is only two ways to work out how much time has passed, which is by judging how much technology has advanced within that time, as well as looking at how much older Melia looks, assuming that this is Melia. Hyentia's age 5 times slower than humans or Homs, and because of that, I can make an estimation of how much time has passed by comparing this Melia in Xenoblade 3 to the Melia that we saw in Future Connected. Considering Melia is royalty, I think she could look as old as 40 years old in this clip, which is just over 100 years. This, however, might not even be Melia and could be someone else entirely, so that number could be much higher. And if that's the case, keep in mind some of the characters that I said may still be alive, may be deceased by that point in the game. But that's all for this Xenoblade Chronicles 3 video. Let me know in the comments which character you'd most like to see return in Xenoblade Chronicles 3, so let me know that you've made it this far into the video. And if you've enjoyed it that much, then you may as well just click that red subscribe button now, so you don't miss out on any of the other Xenoblade 3 content that I've got coming your way. But once more, I appreciate you all for watching. Until next time guys, peace.